Just a little bit of a background. Kayla, actually, probably for a month straight, I kept seeing everybody was doing these parties. I got invites. I was super annoyed. I'm like, what is this? And then finally, when all the hype kind of died down from the parties and the people that I knew, I decided, okay, I'll try this. And I'm a nail biter. So that was kind of my story as to why I decided to try it. And I tried it and literally was like, okay, I will give this a whirl. You know, don't bother me. I don't really want to be salesy. I don't want to do this as a business, but I'll just want the kit and me and my girls will do this on the side. So obviously I didn't anticipate anything that has come of this. And here we are. So one of the things that I want to talk about is just the recruiting or sharing the opportunity principle in itself, because I think that when you are newer, which we're actually all newer, none of us have been doing this for a year yet, some of us 6 months, some of us even less. You focus so much on just learning the business and just like figuring out how to do a nail bar, what works, what doesn't work, trialing things that completely don't work. Like I think a lot of people sometimes forget, I have newer people and they get discouraged that when you close a nail bar and it's at 0, they think that they have failed miserably and they've done something wrong. And the reality is you have not. Some just suck. Some hostesses suck. And even if you're doing everything right, it doesn't matter. There's just an audience in there that maybe is not ready to hear the message or try what we're trying to sell at all. So know that that's normal. I've had really good months. I've had really slow months. I've had months where I've heard no so many times that I was feeling defeated. And then I really tried to push through that and get back on my why and what I love about this. So I want to just spend some time talking about just team building, recruiting, that kind of thing. It's the hardest part, I think, of this business. It really is. It's easy for you to love something and share it in a way where you're sharing it in a group and we're kind of behind a screen, right? We're doing most of our parties via Facebook, some of them in home. But it's little steps in your business that make you uncomfortable that slowly are a game changer. And suddenly you'll notice like, oh, I just recruited somebody, or, oh, I just had a really successful party, or, oh, suddenly I just did a vendor event and it went well. And all those little steps are so crucial in building your confidence. But most of the time it's fear that's kind of holding you back from doing some of those things. Or maybe you ask a few people, you offer a couple people, whether it's a party or the opportunity or whatever it might be, and they say no. And then you're like, okay, and I don't want to do that again. That was uncomfortable. So I get it. That was me for a long time, really, for months. And then I just went on a stretch where it was like, I genuinely felt myself excited. Like I loved the strips, obviously, but I think you have to believe in the business, the networking, the friendships, the growth. The financial side is great. It's not personally my why. I have a good job that I love. Extra money is great. But for me, it was really just suddenly I got wrapped up in this circle of people and I loved it and got really excited every time I had the opportunity to do it. And that's what I talk about actually when I recruit. I think the product sells itself. You know, I usually just say, here's the sample. If you're willing to try it, welcome to your new addiction. And sometimes when you say it so boldly and so confidently like that, then people will be like, oh, like she's positive I'm going to love this, right? Not sometimes in the beginning, I was like, try a sample. People can sense and they know they can read you. So one of the key statements that Brittany Metke has said in a couple of her trainings now that really resonates and really sticks with me is, have you recruited yourself yet? If you haven't recruited yourself, it's going to be really, really hard to get people genuinely believe what you are offering and what opportunity you're sharing. So that's one of the biggest things. And what I see a lot of times is people kind of start, or they say they're trying, and then it's like, they maybe have a couple no's, or they have a couple people that are like, no, I don't believe in this. My favorite still is the whole pyramid scheme. Oh, you're wrapped up in one of those pyramid schemes. And when people drop that, I fully have no hesitancy in saying, if you have any interest in seeing what this party plan type of company, because I just learned this recently too, we're not considered direct sales. We're not considered MLM. We're considered a party plan business, which I didn't learn until we went to Leadership Summit. And I still don't really understand fully what it means. But if people don't believe in this type of platform as a business, I compare it to any other big company out there, right? I work in a hospital. So we have the president of the whole hospital. We have the CEOs, we have the managers, the supervisors, the shift supervisors, the downline, right? The pyramid. You have the CEO at the top. You have your, whatever you want to call it, at the bottom. So really there is no difference in how this company is set up and structured. And I could not have said that 8 months ago when I started doing this, because I didn't understand it. Now I can understand and say, this is why you are able to actually find success in things like this, whatever you're doing in direct sales or other kinds of things. So one other huge piece is when you are recruiting, you almost have to kind of know what is someone's objection. So if any of you that are on here, and we can talk about this, you know, I'll go through a couple more things and then we can just open it up for like what kind of conversations you're having with people. But it's really hard to recruit somebody if they're on the fence and they're kind of hesitating and you don't know what's holding them back. It's really hard to overcome those objections because you don't know what their objection is. So sometimes I'll just flat out say, what's holding you back? Another powerful tool. If you are typing messages, like if you're recruiting someone and it's through texting or messenger and you're typing, it is far less effective. Again, this most simple strategy, but literally that voice feature or that video feature, super awkward. Trust me. I was like, my armpits were sweating the first time I did a live. I'll never forget it. I was like terrified. But when people can see you and they can see your excitement and they can see your genuineness, like you're genuinely thrilled about this opportunity, they can hear it in your voice. They can see it in your face. They can see your confidence with it. It's a game changer. So I'll literally hold down that voice recorder message back and forth on Messenger. Sometimes they'll do it back. Sometimes they won't. And I'll just say, hey, you know, I see you liking everything in the party. You seem super engaged, or maybe you were an awesome hostess. You had a ton of engagement. All these girls are really loving this. Have you ever thought about doing this, like doing what I'm doing and being a stylist? And I just say that. And sometimes it's hard, but you have to say it with confidence. And then literally half of the people that I've recruited, I don't think they would have ever considered the opportunity had I not approached them. If you're sitting there and waiting for people to be like, Trisha, what are you doing? I love this. I want to do it. It's not going to happen. Most people will not step out of their shell and do that. They won't until they're approached. And so that goes back to our whole color 10 algorithm, right? 10 people a week, whether you're giving a sample to, you're handing a brochure to, you're saying, you're wearing your pin proudly that says, ask me how nail color can change lives. I wear that at parties. At first I thought it was the cheesiest thing in the world until I realized people are going to ask me, and then I can share about the foundation and what it's all about. Because to me, that's something that really, that gets me going. I'm a nurse. I love talking about that. I love saying that we work for a company. We work for ourselves. We're our own company, but we're involved in family to a company who genuinely pours back into society in really amazing ways. And sometimes that's all people need to hear. They don't even care if you're selling garbage bags. When they hear that, they love that. And that is what ignites them. And that's what makes them really get passionate about something. So for me, the foundation thing is sometimes even what I jump to before maybe the recruiting special in February, like, hey, tomorrow we're going to be dropping a new foundation strip. This is what it's all about. These are the kinds of things that this company does. And this is why I love it and I believe in it. Another huge thing, and we'll talk about this once everybody gets back on, because I totally feel like I'm talking to myself right now. Another game changer in my business was when I started to set time aside.
You have 11 people on here, so you're totally not talking to yourself.
Okay. Participants. Hello, everyone. It's weird. I feel like I'm talking to myself.
No, I'm actually super excited that we have people on here.
Yay! Another big game changer. Like, I didn't just wake up one day and suddenly be like, I feel super confident I'm going to recruit someone, right? Like, that didn't happen. I made a point to say, I am going to go to regional training. And then I went and I got like all excited because I heard all these people talking about what they're doing and how they're sharing it, and just different little word choices or different little tweaks and their little things that they do, or how they've grown in their confidence, or how they're maybe battling cancer and they've used Color Street as their why to fill their time. Whatever it may be, it's not just about the product, just things that the opportunity offers to people got me really excited, and it helped me be able to share that. And so investing in little team gatherings, even these Zoom calls. This is huge. It just gives you ideas. It helps you. I still will scroll through like the Dream Team and Boss Babes, and I'll go through old trainings. Like if it's, One Party Link trainings or whatever it is that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that was a thing a while ago, but I never had time to sit down and watch it. I'll just randomly go in there and kind of tool around, because you learn so much, and then suddenly it will spark an idea that you'll find success with. But those events are crucial, and they're fun. Like they don't feel like work to me. Like I look forward to them. It's social. We can sit, we can have a drink together. We can like network about, hey, what are you doing? This is what I tried. Or I loved it. When we went to the leadership conference in Texas, we had like roundtables, which is a goal that we were hoping to put together for regional training. But it's like maybe 5 different roundtables, and each roundtable is just a different topic. And you actually should break away from everybody, which I don't like doing that. I want to sit with my people. I want to stay in my comfort zone. But every time I did, and we'd get to the table, people would be like, oh, you're using what platform? How does that work? Or I'm doing this, and this works really well. Like a 15-minute roundtable, you can take away like 50,000 new things to apply to your business. Not even just your business, like personal growth, things that people are doing, books that they're reading, podcasts that they're listening to. It could be anything. And those are the kinds of things that you soak up so much, whether it be personally, professionally, in your business or not. You soak it up like a sponge. So convention, I don't know who's on here that's considering convention. And I will tell you, last year, so I joined in April, convention was in August. So I was maybe 4 months in, and I think I don't know, maybe I was a team leader. I can't remember what I was. And I laughed. I actually made fun of the idea. I said, what the hell are we going to talk about nail polish for an entire weekend? I'm going to buy a plane ticket to go to Florida, which sounds great, but to sit in a convention center and talk about nail polish all weekend. And I am mortified that was my thought process, because it was anything but that. Like it was incredible. The networking, the breakout sessions, they bring in like an actual motivational speaker. So they talk about maybe 25% the product and 75% just how you can grow as a human, as a leader, as whatever you're doing, whatever color street means to you, whatever void it's maybe filling or space it's taking up in your life. I will never miss it again. It was one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. And it's one of those things that you can't explain until you just go. So I know tomorrow registration opens for convention, I believe at 10 a.m. Central Time. I even missed the early registration fee last year. I paid the full price because I was like, yeah, I'm not going to that. And so at the last minute, I decided, oh, there's a bunch of girls from our team going. I'm going to go. It's going to be so fun. And I'm so glad I did it. I spent $50 or $75 more to do it, but it was worth every single penny. And it ignited my business in a way that I did not see coming, because you go and you leave so excited. Like I remember running back to the room and being like, all right, this is my action plan. This is what I have to do. This is who I have to reach out to. Like it really does something for your business and for you. And it's fun. If you don't, you've earned a little trip away to take some time and learn. And like I said, don't feel like it's all business related. We're not going to be talking about nail polish the whole weekend. You meet some amazing, I've met people now that I will be friends with forever. Just as a result of this opportunity. And so when I'm sharing that, I don't talk about the money that I've made or how this is so much better than everything else that's out there. We know it is, right? We just need to hand it off to people and say, try it. You're going to be shocked. And then I also spend so much more of my time when I'm recruiting talking about what this has done for me aside from being a business, because I still don't even actually view it like that. I view it as like a fun opportunity to meet people, to talk, to really overcome some of the things that I've struggled with, like confidence is one of them. People are like, I don't believe you. You seem so confident. I'm a teacher, but I internally die when I have to talk in front of people. And I've grown dramatically in that area. Just being social, meeting new people, all the little areas that I really wanted to work on myself. I just didn't know how. This has really helped me overcome so many of those things. And I think just in confidence in itself, like it's taught me that I can really invest my energy and work hard at something and it will pay off in a million more ways than I had anticipated. And so I share that with people, and people like to hear that. We all have something in common in that we're looking to be fulfilled in different areas of our lives. And sometimes when you tell people I'm selling nail polish, they're not going to be like, oh, that's got to be so fulfilling. Like, you have to talk about why it is. What is it doing for you? What's your why? So much of convention last year was literally forcing us to sit down on a piece of paper, which I have somewhere. I literally am trying to create an office space downstairs. I was just going to grab it if I knew off the top of my head where it is, but I actually have no idea. And we had to sit down and we had to like take 10 minutes and we had to really think about why we were sitting in that room. Why did you come here? Why did you believe in this opportunity? What brought you to this point? And really reflect on it. And when I did that and I really started thinking, I don't know, why did I say yes to this? What has it done for me? It was a game changer. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to recruit yourself first. You have to know what your why is, and you have to be able to share it. Are you sharing it enough? Are you sharing it passionately? And are you sharing it without hesitation?
I just want to jump in for 1 minute. I don't want to interrupt you, but Nicole, I don't know how to say her last name.
Nicole Klein. Yep.
So she is on our team and she's on Casey's team. And she shared with me that she went in her VIP group and did a live on her why. And she recruited 3 people this month from that video, from her why.
I'm telling you the power in lives. And I think it goes not necessarily alive, but like my face being right here with you, or it's no different in person. Like, I love in-home parties now or events, because people can see your excitement. You know, I did my first bridal event last January. It was early in January, and people can see your excitement, not just around the product, but around what you're doing. They see you're having fun. They see that you can confidently speak to something. And I was able to recruit from that event too. And not even naturally being like, here, let me offer you this opportunity. Just people can see it. So how are you putting yourself out there, whether it's in a live video in your VIP group? And here's the other thing about VIP groups. Another game changer in my business is when I stopped thinking of my VIP group as this little like business funnel to the strips, and I made it about my life. Like now some of you are probably in my VIP group. I got over the fear of like, what if my kids are going to be naughty? And what if I show up and I look like shit and I don't have a bra on? What if I don't even think twice about it, because you will find the most loving, genuine response from people when you are just simply real. Like, and they don't want to be in a group where you're just selling something every day. Like, they know you're there. They know when they need something, they're going to come order from you. But what can you give them in your group that they can't get anywhere else? Right. And I still don't even know what that is, but people like it. I think it's the realness. It's the fact that I have 3 kids running behind me and it's nuts. It's the fact that I have a full-time job and I find a way to squeeze this in and I make time for it because it's important to me and it's changed me in a way that I don't know how to explain, you know? And so don't be afraid to make your VIP space, like go live in there, share in there. Ashley Valente, who's also on our team, she's one of Nicole Klein's recruits that Trisha was just referring to. She hopped in and did a live that like brought everyone in her audience to tears about how she's a mom. She has 3 young kids. She has twin boys that are about a year old, and she battled severe postpartum depression. And so she was just in this rut of like, yeah, I need something for myself. What is it? And Color Street happened to enter and intersect right at that perfect timing. And now it has been a game changer. And she came in and did a live just about her story and bringing awareness to it and making it a space where it's okay to talk about and just really just sharing life and not the product, I think is so, so powerful because people don't want to just see that you're selling something. I know when I'm in groups like that, I'm like, leave group. It's annoying.
Oh my God. I did a post on my personal wall about false eyelashes yesterday. I got 10 people that messaged me from Roden and Fields, and I don't even know what the other ones were. And I'm like, no, I don't ever want to be that person. Like, I was not asking you to sell me Lash Boost, you know?
No, right. And I laugh now because I'm like, the product, again, you need to be able to speak till you're blue in the face about why this is so amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can't just be like, oh, here, and then, oh, this makes me so happy. You still have to be able to talk to the fact that, like, I love this. And this is kind of like what I would say if somebody's never heard of it. I'm like, I love it because I never did my nails before. I don't have the time to do it. I can't find a babysitter, go to the salon, get my nails done for $40, come back. I don't have the time. I'm a nurse, so I can't do it. I can't even have acrylics. I can't have shellac. I can't have any of that in the hospital. And so I love it because it's a means of me expressing what I'm passionate about And that's where I tie in the foundation sets, right? I'm a nurse, that got my attention. You donated $200,000 to Alex's lemonade stand. And that was a mom and a daughter who's lost her daughter to some type of childhood cancer. That got my attention immediately. And now I can share about that passionately, right? So whatever it is that you love about the product, it doesn't all have to be the same thing. Some people love that it's easy and fast. Some people love that it's affordable. Some people love that we have designs that you can't recreate in a salon. Whatever it is that spoke to you and got you to this point, you make sure you're sharing. There is no scripted magic sauce. It's just share your why and what got you to this point in loving what we're doing. And that's what people will see. I overthought that for months. I didn't recruit a lot in the first month or two because I was like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to run a nail bar and not end up in Facebook jail because all I was doing is copying and pasting everything around because I wasn't even in the right. I'm like, sure, I'll do this, whatever. But you got to dig deep and figure out why you're doing it. And don't be afraid to share it, because when you do, I'm telling you, I've seen it now with so many girls, including myself. When you share it, it is a powerful thing. And of course it's going to be scary, right? Like, what if you do a live and you pour your soul out and nobody interacts, nobody says anything? I still have fear of that when I go live. Like, what if I did a live sale the other day randomly at 8:30 in the morning and I'm like, what if nobody comes on here and wants anything? But I don't care anymore, right? Like, you have to be willing to put yourself out there, whatever it might be, asking for nail bars, recruiting, offering the opportunity, whatever it might be, knowing that it's not going to be for everybody and you are not going to be offended by it. Because you're here, you've gotten to this point, whether you are new, you just bonus qualified, you are building a team, you are whatever it might be, you have accomplishments on your own timeline that are worth celebrating. And so who cares what anybody else thinks, right? So many people are held back. And that's the most common objection I've gotten when I really dig deep into figuring out why they don't want to do it. They're just afraid. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of, like, what if everybody's doing this and they're finding success and I can't find success at all? Because that's exactly what I thought. What if I do this and, like, it's a total buzzkill? That's going to kill my confidence. It's already not good. And now it's going to totally kill it. But I reassure people, we have like this army of women that we don't even know exists in all these team pages. Like, suddenly I don't know what happens. You get invited to these pages. They're genuinely excited. They're celebrating your success. They personally reach out to you. And suddenly you have this army of women that's willing and wanting to celebrate with you, which is very, very motivating, especially when you don't even know any of them or they're not even on your team. There's no benefit to me cheering on someone that's in a lateral team from me at all. We don't benefit at all business-wise from each other. And I do tell people this too. I've met girls who personally follow up, who hop in and do trainings. They have no benefit whatsoever. We just thoroughly enjoy celebrating each other's success. That tells people they are a part of something amazing. It's not just something that's all about money or a scheme or trying to, when people need to see that, because I was one of those people who also thought, yeah, right, this is another one of those stupid sales companies that I don't want anything to do with. And now I laugh at my thought process because it's so different. So I hope that wasn't just a bunch of word vomit.
Can we talk a little bit like about if you're having a bad month and...
Oh yeah. So I think Brittany Metke did an awesome post on this too that really just brought it to light, is that so many people in their first 6 months, you're going to have a bad month, right? You're trying to figure things out. Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes you have more no's than yeses, more yeses than no's. When you push through that though, you can't, like, when you stop and just shut it off there, that's the end of it, right? Like, there is no growth anymore from that. And also, if you let your VIP group die, which I love the analogy. Haley Grammer's she's a senior executive director and presidential circle member. She did a training at convention last year, and she basically said, like, your VIP group is the life of your business. Really, it is. Like, people may be sitting in there and they may be quiet, but they're watching you, and they're still in there for a reason. If they don't want to be in there, they'll leave, but they're in there and they're watching. So if you are going periods of time not posting in there, I try to post in there every day. And I don't even know what percentage is actually about the product now. Sometimes it's random. My husband's spearing a fish, or my whatever it might be. If you let that space die and you lose your emoji, whatever it's called, you're going to struggle getting it back. So you have got to prepare yourself when things are slow. January and February have been slow. They have. We're coming off the holidays. November was really booming, right? Christmas is coming. And then we're in between a major seasonal launch. It's naturally a slow time. So are you getting discouraged? Are you feeling like, oh, maybe this isn't for me now, I just need to, that's what's going to dictate your success. If you can work through the no's, the slows, all of those things, and keep being consistent through it all, because I've had to do that. I've had so many no's. I've had so many periods of slows. I've had people laugh at what I've tried to offer them when I am like sharing it from the deepest, most bottom spot in my heart. That's a slap in the face. But all those other things outweigh that, and I'm able to push through on to the next, whatever it might be, whether it's focusing on bookings. And then that's where these events are key, you guys, because just when you're maybe starting to feel like a little bit of discouragement, you go and you run into all your friends and they're like, yeah, my January has sucked too. I've been trying this, I've been doing this, I've been doing this. And it's like, it's just a lull. See it through, because when you do, you will keep growing in the right direction. It's when you get discouraged and then you slowly fall off the train. Well, then there is no option to bring it back. It's really, really hard to bring it back. And when they've watched you lose your confidence and your excitement, then I'm going to go find somebody else that's like giving me what I need. Right. Like, and it's okay to be honest. I think sometimes it's totally fine to be like, yeah, I'm having a super slow month or whatever. Obviously not in your VIP group, but to your team, and get ideas. Be willing to try new things. If you're not doing anything that's making you uncomfortable, you are not growing. You're not. So start asking yourself, what could I do that terrifies me? Like maybe it's an in-home, maybe it's a vendor event, maybe it's reaching out and doing a voice recorded thing or a video thing or going live. Like go live in your VIP group, go live on your wall. I still get like ridiculously nervous when I go live on my wall, but now I see that it gets a response. I see that people are interested and they're engaged, sometimes more than others. And that's okay, because when I get done, I feel good that I did that. I feel good that I shared that. It built my confidence. And I tell myself, no matter what the response, maybe it's a total buzzkill, I don't let that affect me anymore. I did for a long time, but I don't anymore. And so it's all about mindset. What are you going to let get to you? What are you not? And when you do, what's going to be your plan? Are you going to reach out? You know, like when we have slow months, we're all talking to each other. Like, Trisha, what have you tried? Have you tried this? Like, I remember Trisha did an awesome post celebrating like paying it forward and kindness and whatever. And I'm like, that is an amazing idea. That is something people will totally be able to relate to. So we all share ideas and bounce things off of each other. I always say that's totally fair game. Anything that's in my VIP group, you are welcome to use. All that I ask is that you change your wording so I don't go to the big jail where I've spent a lot of my time, or switch up your graphics, put your own logo on it. Don't share something in your VIP group that says Trisha's Nail Treasures, because that people see that and they're like, that's not even her stuff. That's weird. So, and mainly for the fact that you want to brand your own stuff, start thinking about, what is my brand? What is my why? Why am I doing this? What brand stamp do I want to put on my business and what I'm doing? Because that's what people want to follow. They don't want to follow what everybody else is doing. They don't want to be invited to a nail bar that they've been invited to maybe 5 other times and you're doing the exact same thing, right? Like think creative, hop in and do a live. Now I try to hop into my nail bars and do just an introduction, random, fresh out of the shower, don't care. Hi, my name is Casey. This is how I got started. This is why we're doing this. This is why the hostess decided to do this. I'm super excited because our company has samples and they're free, and I would love to just put this in your hands. All I need is your address. You know, showing up and doing things that are just different, and and if you are afraid, that's okay, but work through it and do it anyway, because that's when you'll start to grow and you'll chisel off that block a little bit each time you do it. I'm still.
I know that some of the people on here have some recruits that they're struggling with overcoming their objections. So if you guys have questions for Casey, just unmute yourself and ask away. Like, this is the time we have her one-on-one. So throw out an objection and let's work through it.
Yeah, totally. And we also have the Boss Babes Join group, which I'm sure everybody knows about. There's a series of objection videos in there. I did one back in, I don't remember, it was a couple months ago on I'm not a salesperson. So there's a couple, like, I don't have the time. I'm not a salesperson. I can't afford my kit. There's a series of them out there. And so when I first, step one, remembers getting to the bottom of that objection, when I know what it is, I'll tag them in that video and I'll send them a little voice recorded message. And I'll say, hey, my friend KB did a training on, I don't have enough time, right? KB, you might see her in some of the groups, upline pages. She has like 4 kids, 2 of which are adopted. She fosters. She's like really, really, really busy. All the kids are probably under the age of 6. And she comes in and talks about what her actual daily life looks like and how she makes time and is crazy successful with this business. This is what she does full time and she loves it. And so I'll take them in that video because sometimes they just need to hear it from somebody other than you that they can relate to. Like they know what I'm going to say because maybe I've already been saying it. If you've been working with a potential person that wants to maybe join your team, they already heard it all from you. Amanda Haas, if you're still on here, you're one of them. How long did I have to try? And literally we tagged in videos and she had to do it in her own time. She knew when the right timing was for her. I wasn't pushy. I didn't say, I kept reinstilling faith in the fact that I knew she would be amazing at this, which she's doing amazing, but it has to be on their own time. You have to balance follow-up with pushy, and it's a very fine line, right? And so I think it's more easy to do that when you can voice or video yourself, because then people can see, like, I'm not just typing and being like, hey, have you rethought about the opportunity? That's annoying. But if they can see you and say, hey, I know you were maybe interested. I just want to follow up. It's getting to be the end of February where we have that little additional recruiting or joining incentive with the jewelry. And I just want to make sure that if you are interested, that you don't miss out on that, because this is only our second joining incentive we've ever done in over 2 years. So I just want to make sure that you don't have any questions. And if you do, let me know what they are so I can make sure I get them answered for you. You know, you have to think about your wording. And when you say that, either video or voice versus typing it, just think about how much different it can be perceived. And again, it's the simplest strategy. It's like, and it actually will save you a ton of time. I love that record feature because you literally, I can like one hand be putting a pull-up on while I'm like, you know, talking and answering a question. And sometimes it's funny because my kids are in the background and I'm like, sorry, also changing a diaper right now. What I'm really saying is, see, I'm making time to fit this in wherever the hell I can fit it in. And they see that, they hear that. They're like, oh yeah, that's suddenly you become relatable because they also have 3 kids and they have not a spare second in the day and they're fitting it in. And it doesn't feel like work. Like we're working, but we don't feel like it. And I tell people that. So yeah, by all means, if you guys have any objection, anything, if any of you have anyone on the fence or you have any questions, or maybe someone said something to you that got you discouraged, absolutely shout it out. I'd be happy to work through it. And I'm always, even if it's after this video, send me a message on Facebook or start a group. You know, we have the group chats or whatever. I'd be happy to, you know, to help you work through that, because I've had the same thing. When I was new, I had no's. And so I'd reach out to Kayla or Rachel and Marissa or whoever and say like, I have somebody that's super excited, but this is what they said. And it's my first time hearing this. What's the best way? Let me really thoughtfully think through how I can respond, because they've been doing it longer. Like I didn't have all the answers and nobody expects you to either. So sometimes just bouncing that off of each other can be super helpful. I'm still trying to figure out how to get everybody's view.
Does anybody have any questions or any objections that they want to throw out there? I know, Heather, you had someone that you were trying to get to join, and I wasn't sure if you had any specific questions or not.
Even if you don't have any questions, does everybody, like, maybe not all at once, someone just take a turn, maybe Heather first, but like, it'd be super awesome to actually see you, because I obviously see you guys in the team pages, but I don't get to, like, you know, do this very often.
Yeah, there's a little button on the bottom of the screen that'll say start video. If you just hit that, then your video will pop up. I know some of you are in the car and it might not work out.
Right. That's okay if it doesn't either.
Casey, can you hear me?
Yes. I just can't see you.
Okay, so that's okay because I had that blocked.
Oh.
I guess I need to ask what their objections are because I haven't done that.
Sure.
So I need to start there first.
Well, and sometimes that's scary because you're like, oh, I don't know. And what is their objection? Or am I going to be able to overcome it? So for a long time, I wasn't asking either. I was like, oh, they just don't want to do it. Okay, maybe I'll ask again next month. Right. So sometimes just saying like, what's, you know, if you don't mind me asking, what's holding you back? Is there something, because usually it's almost always narrowed down to like those 5 common objections. And some of them I just touched on before. And so maybe it's taking them in a video. They'll watch that. And I've had people go, oh, okay, you know, so just figuring out what their objection is. It just might be poor timing, but I literally write everyone's name down on a list that I know might have even the slightest bit of they've shown even the slightest bit of an interest. I have a piece of paper that's all probably got coffee on it. It's shoved in the front of my binder that says recruit. And then in the other half, it says parties, and anybody that I think, and I just jot down as the weeks go by. And then I'll remember to go back and go, oh yeah, Heather, she seemed like maybe she was interested, but I've given her some time, you know, because we don't want to follow up too soon either. I don't know. There isn't right timing. You kind of have to read people. But yeah, if you have somebody that's on the fence, maybe just send them a message. And maybe do it as a voice recorded thing and just say, hey, just checking back in, you know, you're on my list to follow up with. Do you have any questions or objections? And just creating a simple conversation can really, really be a game changer.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Thank you.
the first thing that I found super helpful was to them, I said, would you mind if I invited you to the Team Boss Babes join group and the Dream Team join group? Right now, I have 8 ladies in there. None of them have pulled the trigger yet, but I know that every single one of them are watching because they're reaching out to me with questions. One of them just reached out to me the other day and she's like, what does it mean that you can move people? I've never talked to her about moving people. She saw that in one of those. The join groups are very valuable.
People will sit in those join groups. And when you talk to any of our leaders or people that have been doing this for a long time, they will literally say like, a year ago, they seed planted with some of these people. This was Rachel and Marissa. Rachel started doing this. I'm sure everybody knows Rachel and Marissa from Teen Boss Babes. And Rachel planted the seed with Marissa. Marissa waited. And now she's kicking herself because if she would have said yes 1 month sooner, she would be in the presidential founding circle, which would clearly be a game changer. All those people get, I think it's 1.5% split amongst however many girls are in the presidential circle of the entire company's volume.
What does that mean? Like,
so they get,
I hear them say it, but I have no idea what it means.
Yep. I think there's anywhere from, I don't know, let's say 50. I don't know the exact number. Don't quote me, but all of the original founding stylists within a certain time period that said, yes, they would be willing to try this opportunity and share the product and do what we're doing. They were part of the founding circle, and part of that, what that meant is that for the remainder of the life of the company, those girls would get a 1.5% of the company, which mind you, Color Street's doing what, 28 million a month. That 1.5% of whatever that is would be split just amongst those stylists. So they just get, you know, thousands dropped just for being a presidential. So that's just goes to show you that people will sit on the opportunity. And I tell people that I'm like, my only regret in doing this is not finding it sooner. That's my only regret. I wish I would have known about this 2 years ago when it started. I wish it would have been so amazing to have sooner. And that's my only regret. I wish I would have known of the opportunity sooner. And so figure out what her objection might be. And don't be discouraged that even if you do it and she still isn't ready, don't like cross her off your list, because I'm telling you, in 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 years, who knows, she may come back to you. Because I know when I have an idea and I like don't have full resolution in my head about it, even if it's something stupid, I will think about it. I will stir on it. We're women. I think we kind of probably all do that. But I will stir on it for a while, for sure.
Yeah, I had a recruit that I've been working for 4 months now. I got her to agree to have a call with Casey. Casey had a call with her. Casey called me. She's like, I think it went really, really well. That girl 2 days ago just told me no. And and I was so discouraged. And Casey's like, she will be back.
I wholeheartedly believe after that conversation, she will be. She needed to have some of those objections answered. She needed to get some more clarity on some subjects on how we do things. And she's not a no. Oh my God. A no is a temporary call for more information, is what we're always kind of told by the leaders, is that if somebody is saying no, they simply just don't have enough information, and they will just wait, give them time, and they will likely come back with questions. But we don't even know what questions or which route to go if they're just giving us the no, sorry, I'm not interested, and we have no clue why. Maybe it's their health. Maybe they're going through a divorce. Maybe they're which sounds insane, but do you know how many people are in this business for that exact same why? Like, that have been able to meet a Color Street family of people who they never had before, and it's their circle of people. I didn't realize that either until now. I've gone to the conventions and met some of these girls, and they're like, I started doing this because I was able to, you know, reach out and connect with a new circle of people. And everybody's why looks so different, but they extend from A to Z. And so you kind of have to know what that is. What's their objection? Maybe what's holding them back. If it's time, well, all right, send them my way, because I don't have any damn time. You fit it in, you make it work, you get creative. And that's the glory of this. There is no other job in the corporate world that you can do that, where you can like choose when you want it on, when you want it off, when it's convenient for you. The school pickup line while I'm walking from the van to go pick up Lainey, and I can quick voice respond back to somebody. I fit it in wherever I can. And that's the glory of it, you know? And I am not afraid to tell people, we are not supposed to share our income, right? Like, there's some rule in the policy and procedure, blah, 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 about like blabbing all over the internet what your income is. However, if I have a stylist that's like, I don't really think there's any money to be made, blah, 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 I will pull I am a full-time nursing instructor. I love my job. I have a sound income. I'm not doing this for money, but I have almost nearly tripled monthly what I make in my full-time nursing job that required me 6.5 years of education. And when I say that to those people that are really like driving me crazy about some of their comments, they stop dead in their tracks and they go, what? I'm like, yeah. So there's nothing schemish about it. And I've been here since April to tell you that you can do as much or as little as you want with it. But if you stay consistent and determined, I mean, I'm to the point I could give up my job. I don't even, that sounds so weird to say. And I'm not at that point where I'm even closely remotely being ready for that, because I love my job. But people need to see that. People need to hear that. Because sometimes they are here for the financial aspect. They are here because we are a brand new company, and they can see the potential that this has to grow. And we haven't even launched internationally. A company that goes from 0 to 28 million in 2 years, they need to see the potential here. Like, we are onto something amazing. And a lot of companies will claim that, but show me your numbers, right? Like, show me how. Well, that's how. We had 2,000 people at convention last year, and we have 6,700 spots open this year. We have tripled our registration because we are growing quickly, yet still being ground floor completely 100% under, you know, that's another common objection. There's so many people doing it. You know, I have so many of my friends that are already doing it. And I say, yeah, so do I. Trisha and I, we're damn near family. Like, we've both been able to be successful in this. It's actually amazing when you can do it with a friend. And no matter what your circle is, there's still a whole untapped circle that you don't know about, because you host a nail bar and then suddenly there's 3 more people that you've never met that you've mailed samples to. So your connections are going to branch and spread and grow. I love when people tell me, no, there's too many people in my area. I'm like, yeah, look at Washington County. Every single one of everyone that I know is doing it. I have many close friends that are doing it, and we are all finding success with it. And I always compare it to Mary Kay, one of those companies that's been around forever. They have millions of stylists. We don't even have 1 million. We have 60,000. So there's so much room for growth and expansion but you have to know that and be able to confidently say that. I didn't know that at first. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I guess you probably couldn't sell Color Street in Washington County because we already are. You know, you got to know this. You got to know to say, okay, actually, here's the map of how many stylists we have in each state. There's some states that are like not even tapped yet. So knowing that objection can be huge.
Do people have questions for Casey?
Somebody at least come on and say hi so I can see your face, and turn on your video.
Hey, Casey, I have a question. This is Rebecca.
Hi.
Hi. My question is, what do you do when, now, like over the weekend, I private messaged like 34 people, I think, just trying to get people maybe to book, or, you know, hey, I'm in this booking challenge, blah, 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 you know, what's going on, or for March parties, and it's just crickets.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel kind of like you've already bothered all your VIP group, now I'm bothering all of my people that have already purchased through parties and whatever, and you're kind of at a dead end, it feels like.
So when I start to feel like that, that's when I start really getting aggressive with an event, because I can't tell you that bridal expo where I was really hesitant because I'm like, oh, it's going to cost money. And that event, I'll tell you, was $1,000. I could have puked because of how expensive it was. I was like, they're not all like that, obviously, but there are some where you go, you don't know a single person. Those are the best, because suddenly that reignites your network. You get maybe a handful of new people in your VIP group. You have some new connections and new people to work with. And then I would also say, like, there is so much power in, if you are typing a message to people, people will see that, and it's easier for them not to ignore. That's not the right word, but maybe to be like, okay, I'll get back to her later. She wants me to host a party. I'm not ready for it. When you voice message somebody and say, hey, I am part of this super exciting booking challenge. And I am really excited about where my business is going. And I'm really excited about the spring line that's coming. And I'm looking for people to host. I will mail you a free set for being willing to do it and help me out. I book way more parties doing it that way than just sending someone a message. I think when you can, again, record your voice and have them hear genuinely what you're asking, they won't ghost you. They won't hear it and ignore you. And a lot of us at the Leader Summit talked about that, is when we stopped messaging, typing, and we started using our voices, people won't ignore that, because they can hear you and they feel far more rude seeing your message and just being like, yeah, okay, I'll respond to this in a month. They won't do that. So just don't get discouraged by it. People will probably respond. And I offer, sometimes people, they want you to offer them something. That's like what tips them over the edge to being like, okay, I'll do it. So I always say in my message, I'll mail you, I noticed you're looking for clear as day. You keep kind of asking in my page when it's going to be back. I have some on hand. I'll mail you. Try to make that personal connection. What is it that they want? Maybe they were looking for some retired set. Well, then get in the retired page and find it for them. That's how I've ended up hoarding all these because I can give them something that they can't get anywhere else.
I think a lot of times we're thinking too small. I spent some time with Casey on Saturday, and we're at Wentz, and she nailed our waitress. I got my hair done yesterday.
With Trisha's sample.
Yeah, with my sample, because she didn't have a sample. I was at getting my hair done yesterday. I nailed 3 people at the hair salon. I just took the bull by the horns, and I'm like, do you have Facebook? All 3 of them were like, yep. I brought my phone out. I added them as a friend, and then I added them to my VIP group. Casey said she nails everyone at the drive-thru.
I do. So we went to the leadership convention, and people were making fun of me. It was actually awkward, because they're like, oh my God, you don't miss a beat, but you can't. I look at everyone now. If I'm in the post office, I've made the mistake now of not having samples on me, and I could just cringe when that happens, because I don't have any form of connecting with them again, unless I'm going to be a stalker and go back to that place and be like, oh, here, this is what I meant to give you the other day. People comment on our nails all the time, or I actually seek out the people whose nails look like shit and they're chipped and they're polished. And so of course I don't say that, but I'm like, hey, I was Cozy. My sister actually was with me, and she was so mortified because we went through the Dairy Queen line, and this cute little young girl was handing me my Frosty, whatever it was. And I'm like, oh, your nails are pretty. She had her nails done. I'm like, do you get your nails done a lot? And I just sparked up this random conversation. Of course I was uncomfortable. I was like, oh my Lord, this is going to be so awkward if she's like, yeah, I do my nails. And what you'll find though, is 99% of people are going to be polite, and they're going to actually listen to what you say. So I said, have you heard of Color Street? Of course she said no. I said, here, try this. You'll save yourself a ton of money, and you will enjoy having your nails done while saving time. And she looked at me kind of confused, and I confidently drove away. Maybe she's never going to contact me. Maybe she won't, but you have to be willing to put the product in people's hands that you don't know. So when you're kind of expiring from your group, because trust me, my VIP group, they all know what I'm doing. They'll come find me if they need something. But if I don't constantly bring newness to there, it'd be fizzled out, because they will still order. They are my customers. They are loyal, but they know what I'm doing. I need to keep reaching those people that have not heard of this.
And maybe the people that you're reaching out to, maybe they're not interested right now, but maybe they have a friend that's interested, and you are not going to know that unless you ask.
Yep. And all your previous hostesses, like, right, you've had nail bars those are existing groups, right? So I forget about that. I forget that I have like 15, 20 groups out there that have like had nothing in them for how long, but all those people are still in them. So I try to remember. I'm not really always good at this, but we have a foundation set dropping tomorrow. Drop that foundation set in those old groups and say, hey guys, it's been a while. Some of you may still be here, but I wanted to let you know that Color Street is doing and raising awareness for disability. I didn't even read the email closely yet to be able to say it exactly, but whatever it might be. And you could get connections just from that, because they're like, I have a family member that can relate to that and I need that set. How do I get it? And then you say, I will mail you that set if you would be willing to host any kind of event for me, whether it be Facebook, whether it be a book party, a binder party, a whatever, and maybe they'll say, no, thank you. I just want the strip. No problem. Great. They're going to wear your product and they're going to advertise it all over. And they're going to confidently share that this set is donating money to something that is near and dear to them. So they're doing the advertising for you. So I forget about my old groups all the time. I mean to do that. Like the retired list is coming on Wednesday. How perfect is that to just drop that all over the place? Like all those old groups. Hey guys, I know that maybe some of you ordered these a while ago. They're going to be gone. Just wanted you to see it. So I forget that I have old groups. I honestly do. And it's a huge, like you have a network of people just sitting in there that you probably never followed up with. I know I haven't. If they didn't request a sample, I've never even touched base with them.
The other thing I started doing was sending out, and I'm still working on it, I'm sending out personal thank you cards to every single customer that's ordered with a couple of my business cards in it, and telling them in there how I love referrals.
So one of the girls that was on the enrolling panel that we did at the Leadership Summit said the exact same thing. She goes in spurts where she will sit down and every single order, she will look up their address, she will handwrite a thank you card, and she will mail it. And when she said that, I'm like, oh my God, that's so much work, but it is so powerful. People want to feel appreciated. And when you take that little extra step and do something for them, they love it. Or maybe they ordered a set from you. Every once in a while, I'll just sneak in a little Truse sample that I think would match with a little sticky Post-it note that says, hey, I thought you'd like this. This would be a fun accent nail. It cost me what, 20 cents? And that made them feel, I know that would make me feel like, oh, she actually does care about what I like, So any of those little ideas. And again, this is why coming to things is powerful, because suddenly we all start talking and we're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And why am I not doing that? Why am I not doing Zoom calls with the rest of my freaking team? Why am I not, like all these things that we do that can be such game changers all around the board, not just in the business, but just in life in general. So I have a notification here, chat.
Does anybody else have questions? I know we've kept you guys for an hour, and I told you that it would probably be about 45 minutes. So
sorry, I'm notorious too for doing this, and then suddenly I'm like, oh my God, I talked for just when I think I won't think of anything to say, and then suddenly I'm like, okay, shit, I've been talking for an hour.
I just want to remind everyone about the awareness shades that are dropping tomorrow. I want to remind at 3 p.m. I want to remind everyone about the conference early bird convention that you can start purchasing tickets tomorrow at 10 a.m. And remind everyone that the app you can now download on your phone. I haven't done that yet, but I'm super excited to do that.
Yeah, it's going to change and save so much time, you guys. They literally put everything in one spot that we all access all the time and need help with. And so you're going to love it. Resources now, when you need a picture or you need Tuesday training links, you're going to just click one spot. You're not going to have to dig through the back office. While I thought before, though, they pretty much have a damn good system of keeping us organized, keeping us informed. This is just going to simplify things so much. As you recruit people and they're close to hitting their jump starts, you're going to get an email. They're going to get an email. Like, they've really put some thought in and taken the feedback from our leaders, and they know what we need, which is awesome. So yeah, if you haven't thought about convention, I'm telling you, if you can set some money aside and invest in yourself, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, you will be so happy that you did it. without a doubt. Come on. You will love every minute of it. It is the most exciting thing, and you will tell yourself that you will never miss it again, because that's exactly what I did.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? If not, I am recording this, and I'm pretty sure that because of the length of it, I'm gonna have to upload it onto YouTube. So I'll create like a YouTube team page, and then I'll upload it on there, because I know that I have a couple people on vacation. I believe Shelly's on vacation, but I think I see her on this call. So I will get this uploaded and let you guys all know when I get it uploaded too. And thank you so much, Casey. Like, thank you so much.
No problem. And seriously, please, if you have, you know, if you think of something when we hang up, shoot me a message on Facebook or let Trisha know, or however. I'm happy to help. However.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yep.
You guys, we're going to have another meeting in a couple of weeks. My daughter-in-law is due any day now. She's actually due March 14th, but she found out today that she's 50% effaced and dilated to 3. So she could be, you know, having this baby anytime. So if I have any conflicts, I'll let you know. Otherwise, we'll just plan on a couple weeks again. And I hope you guys all have a great night.
Thanks, Trisha.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.